police tell me, anecdotal, that a lot of times they hang back from the gang shootings and they're shooting each other and almost a, well, let them kill each other type of mentality. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Both in my conversations with police officers, but also I think there is now fairly robust empirical evidence that looks at how high profile media incidents of police use of force and subsequent protests can lead to a withdrawal of police in their exercise of discretionary arrests, discretionary stops. There's actually a lot of fairly robust evidence that A, shows that, and then B, links that to an increase in violence. I think most tellingly, when you just go look at what has happened to assaults and killings of police officers, felonious killings and felonious assaults, they were at their lowest levels in history up through about 2015, which is, of course, when the Ferguson protests and the first round of hostility to the police that becomes the defund the police movement takes off. And like clockwork, there's an increase in ambush assaults, there's
Sure.
an increase in assaults of all kinds,
George
etc.
Floyd was a fuse. That was the fuse to what we see now. Let's look forward. The problem is in your city, Washington, D.C., in my city, New York, in LA, in Chicago, in most large cities. The district attorneys are far left. They sympathize with the criminals more than the victims, generally speaking. Philadelphia, Krasner, okay? I don't see how that reverses itself. So the situation of attacks on cops and civilians is going to get worse.
Well, some of it's the district attorneys who are elected. Some of it is in a place like DC. Some of it's the city council. Sometimes it's mayors. If you look at a place like Chicago, the problem is the DA and the city council and the mayor, and also to some extent the CPD. There are complicated relationships there. But I think in all of those cases, those are often offices which are democratically accountable. I think that there's reason for optimism. The election of Eric Adams in New York City gives me a sense of optimism. There's polling that suggests that Chesa Boudin, the progressive district attorney in San Francisco, is likely facing recall in the coming election cycle. Nobody expected that to happen. Everyone thought that he would skate by, but it seems like there's some pretty bad polls out there for him. So I think look, the electorate is very aware of how bad crime has gotten. They're very aware that these are actors who are not concerned enough about crime, and eventually they will sit up and take notice, as they did in the 1990s.